Hello and welcome to the Murrayfield and Me podcast with Bruce Aitchison, your host from Happiness is Egg-Shaped, and I'm delighted to welcome you back, I hope, or if it's your first time, welcome. I hope you enjoy, and I hope you will be back again soon. So, Murrayfield is a place I absolutely love and try and spend as much time there as possible. And in this situation we're in just now, I am very, very lucky that I get to be at live rugby. I'm there on my own, almost, and I announced to what is pretty much an empty stadium, but I love it all the same. And it's even better when I get to wind up my good friend Dougie Vipond, who does the presenting for Premier Sports. And just as he goes live, about to make an announcement, that tends to be when I get to announce the teams. And that is joyful. Now, I've announced to Scotland games with a full capacity, 67,500, and that is awesome. I've announced to Edinburgh games with a bit fewer than that, and at the moment I'm announcing to pretty much the players on the pitch and to annoy Dougie, but I absolutely love being there. And I've tried to give people an insight as to what it's like at live rugby in this period when nobody else gets to be there, and it is weird. And the bit I love about Murrayfield, although I love the place and watching the grass grow, it's really the people that I get to meet and the things that happen and the memories that we make. So today, Murrayfield and Me is all about me holding a microphone and getting to be the announcer at Edinburgh Rugby, and it has been an absolute joy. And I'm now coming to the end of what's been a reasonably difficult third season, but in those 3 seasons I have had an absolute ball, and I love working with my mate Callum Gallagher from the radio, proper DJ, proper cool guy. Turns up on a Friday night telling me that he's interviewed Little Mix or he's had Lewis Capaldi on the phone on his show, and then he gets to stand next to me, Bruce Aitchison, who gets excited about rugby. Now, Callum doesn't know a huge amount about the game, so it's been good because I've been able to educate him, and we've got quite a complicated game. Trying to educate somebody with not much rugby knowledge is a bit of a challenge. But some of my days with Edinburgh have been an absolute joy. Like when I bumped into Sam Warburton before a European game, all the TV cameras were there, Austin Healy was there, everybody was there. And Sam Warburton came along, and I just finished watching the Sam Warburton documentary where he spent a lot of time with his gorgeous daughter and at home, and showing us where it all started and showing us where he went to the gym and talking about his broken body. And we bumped into each other, and I obviously knew who he was. He had no idea who I was. And we had a chat. What did we talk about? Did we talk about rugby? Did we talk about the Lions? Did we talk about Wales? Did we talk about Grand Slams? Nope. We spoke about how we both love being dads, and it was an absolute joy. And I doubt he remembers it, but I do. And it was just magnificent. And I was supposed to work with Sam Warburton at a Scotland game, and unfortunately he was ill and couldn't do it, and I was absolutely gutted because I love the guy. Brilliant role model, seems like a top man, done pretty much everything, made some mistakes too, but it doesn't seem to have affected him. Absolutely love him. Also bumped into another one of my favourite Welshmen, Nigel Owens. Grabbed him for a picture or two, as you can imagine. Nice guy, always willing. And then I got to meet my big mate Heinze when Montpellier came for a European game, and Heinze was running the water on and off, and we had a bit of a chin wag. It was great to see Big Wagga Nathan Hines back at Edinburgh. Some of the other bits that I've loved: the last game for Edinburgh for Ross Ford, Scottish rugby legend, British Lion, from Kelso, but has seen the light and now lives in Stow, which is the centre of the universe where all the best people live. Fordy's last game against Ulster, and after the game on the pitch there was going to be a presentation. And normally as the announcer I don't get onto the pitch, but I was allowed to go on for the presentation to be made to Fordy. And Rory Best wasn't playing that night, but he was running the water and being a coach and doing all the comms. And I spoke to Bestie, my mate Bestie. I spoke to Bestie and said, listen, there's going to be a presentation for Fordy after the game. Is it okay if the boys stay? Absolutely, no problem. All the boys will stay on and we'll support him. What a top man. And I thought, yes. So I got to walk onto the pitch and make the announcement about Ross Ford's last game for Edinburgh. And Big Fordy broke down in tears. Nobody had ever seen it before, and I spoke to his lovely wife Laura after, and she said he didn't cry at the wedding, he didn't cry at the birth of any of the kids, but he cries at rugby. I was like, yeah, that's just the good stuff. That was a special moment that was shared by the people that were there, but my memory of it is just one I absolutely love. I've also been able to announce debuts of players like Matt Curry and Dan Gamble, who have been in this office, not with me, but they've been in this office. They went here, and that was a pretty special thing. Now, it was to an empty stadium, but I felt very privileged to get to announce what I hope is the first of many games for Edinburgh, and I hope these two both go on to achieve other great things. Fraser Brown, Scotland international hooker, another guy I've known for a long time, coached him when he was 18. I got to announce his 100th game for Glasgow Warriors. I did make a bit of a mistake. I got so excited about Fraser getting on that I announced it was his 200th game for Glasgow Warriors. So I got a little bit too excited with that one, and I hope he forgives me. He probably wasn't listening anyway. And when Edinburgh score, that is awesome. It gives you such a great feeling, and I can't grab the microphone quick enough. I love to get in on that whoosh of emotion when somebody scores a try. And there are the regulars. There's Blair Kinghorn, your favourite fullback, my favourite fullback, everyone's favourite fullback, Blair Kinghorn. And now he's a Lion, Duan van der Merwe. And the place goes nuts because everybody loves Mr. Incredible. Duan is an absolute machine, and I would love to announce him for the Lions. I would love to do that. So if anybody at Murrayfield's listening for the Lions against Japan game, I'm available. That would be so cool. One of the best things about being the announcer is I get to wander around on the touchline in normal times, and I get to have a bit of chat, and I get to speak to people over the barrier, and I get to speak to the referee, and I get to have a bit of crack with the managers who are doing the replacements. And there was a TMO decision, and I went up to the fourth official and said, can you tell me what question he's asked, please? So he told me what question he asked, and then I relayed that to the crowd. And then Andy McGeady, journalist, he's on Twitter, top man, he said about how it was great that the announcer was keeping the crowd informed, and that should be the standard. I felt 25 feet tall. That was awesome. It wasn't why I did it, but it was nice that that was recognised. And when Johnny Petrie first spoke to me about getting involved with Edinburgh, he said he wanted an announcer who knew the game and could help the crowd enjoy the game of rugby. And that was one of the things that I just thought I would want to know. If I was sitting in the crowd, I want to know, what question have you asked, so that then I can make my judgment as I watch the big screen and see what's going on. Sometimes it's tough to say some of the names. Mark Palmer, Times journalist, is Magic's fluent Italian. He quite often sends me a message and says, Bruce, if you need any help with the Italian names, catch up with me before the game. That is worth its weight in gold, because your name's important. It's your label. You got to try and get it right. And then I can be out and about. I get messages on Facebook and WhatsApp from people talking about the announcements, because there are certain players who I'm able to build things up for. And my kids love saying it back to me. Maisie and Katie, they have a favourite. And Davy Oliver down in Hoyk has a favourite. And it's great when I get messages from people saying, my kids walk around the house shouting this. So my favourites are W.P. Nell, and that's Maisie and Katie. They quite often say, Daddy, was W.P. Nell playing tonight? And that just gives me a big silly smile on my face like I've got just now. And then I was announcing for Scotland against Fiji. It was my first cap, my first international as an announcer, Scotland against Fiji. And playing for Fiji was Bill Mata. Now, Bill is phenomenal. Quiet, calm, unassuming, but what a rugby player. Phenomenal. Gold medalist at the Olympics, but so humble. Brilliant, brilliant guy. Signature on this shirt up here behind me. I love him. So getting to say Big Bill Mata is an absolute joy. He scored for Fiji against Scotland. Now, in that packed Murrayfield, there must have been heaps of Edinburgh fans. So I thought, I know he's the away team, but I'm going to give him the big one. So as he runs in and he dives over and scores, I gave it the try for Fiji, number 8, Big Bill Mata, and you could almost hear a pin drop. But it was very nice to get a couple of messages from people saying, yeah, I wanted to cheer as well because he plays for Edinburgh. So I'm just a fan with a microphone, but when he does it for Edinburgh, it is brilliant because the whole place gets behind it. And when he re-signed for Edinburgh, Jimmy Vid, who was the videographer for Edinburgh Rugby, brilliant guy, back in New Zealand now, love him to bits, miss him hugely. He said to me, listen, when you do the Big Bill Mata, I'm going to record it. I need the audio. Didn't tell me what it was for, kept it absolutely secret. So there it was, announcing the teams. And at number 8, Big Bill Mata! And the crowd went, and it was great. And then Jimmy didn't use it in the highlights reel, and he didn't use it in the story of the game, and he didn't say, Jim, what's going on? He went, no, mate, just wait. And sure enough, when the announcement came of the re-signing, that was played over on the video, and that was part of the audio, and it just was awesome. It's on my Facebook memories, and I watch it and I get a big silly smile on my face as the highlights package of Bill gets played. And then he had an interview in the program, and he said that he likes when he hears it. Now, I'm not sure if he does or not, but I like that he said he liked when he hears it because he's an absolute star, and it's a chance for me as a fan to get excited with a microphone. I love being at Murrayfield. I feel very honoured to be there during this period. I can't wait to get into the new stadium. I've had a little tour around. It looks magic. I'm looking forward to the standing enclosure causing a bit of hassle and a bit of noise. I'm looking forward to getting around there with a microphone, being close to pitch side again, having people back in just feeling like they want to be there. The players walking down Autograph Alley is going to be so cool. And I'm really looking forward to seeing as many of you as possible there because I love it and I hope you do too. My name is Bruce Aitchison. This has been me talking about my love affair with Murrayfield through Murrayfield and me and my time as the Edinburgh announcer. You can catch up with the pods on Apple, Acast and Spotify, and you can also watch on Facebook and YouTube. Please subscribe, leave a review, tell your friends. Let's get involved with the Happiness Is podcast and Murrayfield and me. I love talking and hopefully you love listening. I really look forward to catching up with you again soon. All the best and stay safe.